Okay. Sure. Hello, we're ALLDEEPENDS.
Hi.
This is Nick. I'm Hooligan. And this is John. And we have an album coming out this 10th of June. Yeah, Throwing a Pit to Nothing. We're just going to talk a little bit about the album.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ins, some of the outs. A little bit of like some secret working nonsense. Here we go.
All the labor and love that's gone into it.
That's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Sorry to undercut you.
Yeah, no. It's totally cool. Yeah, starting for the name.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? How did the name came about?
If I remember right, yeah, you were talking to Gary and we're at a hardcore show and people were just like still throwing down after the band stopped playing and it's between songs, and the term throwing a pit to nothing, just being so amped and ready to go that you don't even need the music to motivate your movements.
That could very well be the story. I remember it a little bit different though.
Good detail.
And well, it's just we were after we recorded this bad boy, which was a 7-inch in the past. If you had it, good, well done. Remember, we recorded this, and obviously we had the pandemic happening and everything, and we had an album ready to go. And then we were going to be like, is this ever going to come out?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same act as like doing all this thing and to no one to ever see it kind of thing. And like that was the idea. And yeah, and then that related to that other story kind of came together.
It embodies that feeling of just like putting in all this work and effort for it to just kind of go into the bin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the name. That's how the name came about. So when we were recording it, I remember perfectly saying, it would be really cool, because we had the 10 songs already, and I thought it would be really cool to have a record that plays exactly plays just as good when you put it in one side and just as good on the other side.
Reversible.
Yeah, like so I was imagining, right, okay, this person going into the shop and finding this, like there's no information there, right? And pulling it out, and there's also in this when you have the record out, there's also no information there, right? There's just red E's and like purple E's, and then sticking it on, and then playing it. It kind of has like an intro and an outro in both of the sides, so it actually plays like a kind of like a small record on each side from beginning to end, but also plays really good as a whole, and still has like an intro and an outro after the
we took great pains to make sure that there was some level of balance and made sure that there was the same number of songs and each song in order had a similar feeling so that it felt like a cohesive product in the end.
So that was it, and then but then eventually people might be able to find out which side is what, because we have also the digital release.
Yeah, and CDs and such.
And then which is also something really cool about the artwork, because Nick added the wear and tear for like the digital, and it comes out here more or less like a ring wear.
Yeah, to emulate the idea that like as these records get used and knocked about, like the slip is what gives you the actual information on it through this kind of transparency that we have. So trying to ensure that the digital copy resembles the physical record copy, which I think of as like the primary.
Of course. And then but it also works out in a different level of like when you get the record, it doesn't have that like a ring wear that hopefully eventually will have in the future if like you end up using it a lot, sort of thing. So in that part, you are also being a part of the artwork as like the user of the thing, as like it has to be like this in the end, and right now it's pristine. But after wearing it, there's marks being put through it, and that adds a different level to it as well.
That kind of cooperative art making and like almost performance aspect reminds me of I think it was a Durruti Column album from Rough Trade that they had sandpaper on the outside, so that as you slid it in and
That's
out, it would
brutal.
ruin all the other records.
I would never buy that
do
shit.
that. Yeah. That's a step too far.
I'll keep it for my skateboard, maybe. But another thing, because things that we do in this, whatever All Depends is,
or collective.
they are collective for sure. We've been doing things in layers that kind of. So I feel like it's a little bit of not an evolution, but a progression in a sense of the 7-inch, in the way that John was doing the grid for the background, which kind of looks like a rainbow in here. And then when you were doing the buildings with the photorealism, and then I was adding the doodle dits from like the X dimension, the All Depends dimension, and then you opens and you had like the Bible and here on lyrics. But it's like that sort of cooperation, you know. And the stickers, I'm a fan of like, you have the paper already, and that is also part of the record itself.
The sleeve isn't interchangeable. This is the sleeve that belongs to.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with so as I'm saying, this is a 3 artists all putting together efforts to create the cover art, and then for this time it's like, yes, there's 3, but then there's also the user as well. By using it, it'll get marks, and maybe some of the marks that are made with pens will be removed, and it would only end up with like the sticker and the background.
Yeah, anyway, each one is going to become its own like unique thing, because in so far as comparing it to the 7-inch, like John does a lot of chance grids. He does a lot of works about elements of chance and pattern.
Let's talk a little bit more about John.
Sure.
Well. He's been getting a lot into like layers and paying attention into the city as well. He's been paying attention into graffiti, not actually doing like working with graffiti itself per se, but like that sort of like layered out patterns and like all the different textures that you can get from something.
He very affectionately kind of refers to it as like wallpaper almost, where like it exists and informs the structure that you surround yourself in, even if it isn't necessarily like taken in individually. Like the chipping of paint informs your understanding of a place.
And it's like obviously really, really gorgeous as well. So another thing that we wanted to add to this is that there is not right or wrong way of putting this. Like, so you can insert the record as this to be the background if you wanted. You can do the red. You can, if you're tired of that, you can like turn it this way, for example. Like that, or just like that, you know, like
get tired of seeing this.
It just like it show whatever, but it has like that sort of base level layer that obviously John is really into. So it was appropriate that he was doing that. So.
It's also appropriate given his role in the band as well, where like so much of the music is underpinned by their bass work, and the melody oftentimes I feel like comes from John, where it sits and underpins the majority of it.
That's a very good point.
Yeah,
I never really mirrored that, but like that was really really well pointed. That's cool. Then the layer with the sticker. What's with that?
So I initially did this painting on a meter by meter canvas in oil of us throwing a pit, as it were. I took video in like
in a warehouse.
In a warehouse, just us like absolutely going for it, and then stopping on various frames to emulate the motion and try and get the smearing of paint, which is something that I've been practicing for a while. In an effort to get that to register as us kind of floating in the void, printed it out on a clear label, got it printed, and now it kind of sits on this clear sheet as well.
I think it works perfectly with what it was intended, but obviously so much more as well than what it was intended. If you've never checked out Nick's stuff, go and do it, because there's a lot of really cool stuff.
A lot of painting in oil.
Lot of painting in oil, exactly. Yeah, that's fun. I wonder if the stickers are going to last a while. Probably just like it seems like really good quality.
Yeah, the place that I got them from wasn't necessarily like vinyl stickers, but specifically labels for like wine bottles and stuff like that. So, that's just what they happen to as far as getting the clarity of them. Because I was looking at a couple other ones and they were like the vinyl cling stickers to windows, and I know those chip over time. So.
That's really fun.
I figured that would be
from wine stickers.
Yeah, which is it's quite funny because all the example products were like sans serif like Pinot Grigio labels, and I sent them that.
Yeah. As far as like the plastic that the artwork is going into and the sticker is going into is like this new bag called the crystal bag, and it doesn't stick to any other vinyl and damages it. So it's like a really good bag for nerds out there.
Yeah, only the highest quality record.
Only the highest quality. But it also fits like really snugly as well, and it allowed me to put the pockets in a way which they don't come as easy.
Yeah.
As with like some other bags with different porosity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I'm very fumbly when it comes to getting records in and out, and I haven't had trouble with these, so that's what I noticed.
Then we have a run of 300 copies. They're actually numbered. You might not be able to see, but in here it's like it came up with my own sort of like way of counting things, and it's very based on the imagine how they counted the numbers. They had like based it on 20s, but basically so I was getting into that, and one day like I fucked it up, and I was just like, well, this actually could still work, right? Okay, so you have the dots that count as 1 unit, then you have the lines that count as 5, and then you have the X that counts as 20. Yeah, and then and it just keeps adding until you get to the 100, and that's an X with a circle.
I see.
Yeah, so that's how you'll recognize like just the number that it happens to have. It doesn't mean that it's anything. But
this guy here is 3.
That guy's 3 over there. And this guy's 33.
Oh, okay.
So I love that.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 10,
5.
20. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So I mean that's another thing. Of these 300 copies, every one of them is going to be unique just by its nature, because hooligans do it in individual little doodles all around, which again emulate the same motif of your small doodle guys from previous ones.
Totally. And then I have some theories about where art comes from. Been thinking about it a lot as well, and there's like this place called The Real, which I'm really going to start putting that information out there in our page and stuff. I wanted to talk about like the color of the vinyl.
Yeah.
It will be all random as well, because obviously we go for the cheap and fun option, right? Okay, which it wasn't like, we were not going to say like, okay,
it needs to be neon green,
or let's get this red pattern and whatever, and it's just going to make the record like extra expensive. Yeah. Right. So yeah, they have an option. The guys in the Czech Republic plant that we use, where they have all the color that people haven't used, and then that's what it like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Angie about that, and they brought up a good point that is. It's nice because it involves recycling and reusing them. It contributes less to the production of new vinyl, which is like a pretty caustic process all in all. But I mean, that resulted in it being cheaper and faster and less waste ultimately, because I assume it's just melted down offcuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it kind of doesn't matter what it looks like. It's
no.
If I'm making windows out of recycled glass,
yeah.
Just happy to have the window.
It is what it is. Exactly, and then in the next, depending when you're watching this, but we have an insert as well that'll come with the record with another Bible that
just an absolute wall of text.
Yeah, this is a bad print, right?
Yeah, this is our preliminary.
Yeah. But will be. I mean, Look at that.
Yeah, absolute
Just-
wall of text.
I couldn't fit it any other way, so it just like it just goes one by one. And then if you talk a little bit about this,
Oh, sure.
What is this?
Yeah, so this is in an effort to kind of emulate the pattern, we went to a local free spot where you were able to tag and do your own pieces and such, and we had a night of just emulating this chance grid and us flipping the coin and really going through it. Yeah, and taken by our friend Gary.
Yeah, the picture.
Yep.
So that's going to be on the other side. Of
It'll be
the insert.
Printed on pink paper,
Yeah.
so emulates the color.
Yeah. That's all for now.
Yeah.
See you at the show. We'll have copies there. Probably going to drive if you pre-order. We really appreciate it. So, yeah, just like see you at the show.
See you at the show.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, John.
Bye, John.